Sparkle Butts, Chelsea Dagger here. We're doing Awkwardest Awkwardness blog part 2. Also, it's a vlog, not a blog, and it's off to a brilliant start as per usual. On last week's episode, we talked about how it's actually pretty cool to be awkward, how it can be charming and funny. It can feel just terrible a lot of the time, but we also talked about how no matter how alone and awful it can feel when you do something awkward, you have to know you're not alone. You have to know I'm in the same boat with you. So is Harry Potter, so is Jennifer Lawrence, so is basically all the sparklers. Basically, everyone you have met or will meet for the rest of your life is awkward in some way. Even if they seem like the coolest person on the planet, I guarantee they've done or said awkward things. So don't feel like you're alone. Don't feel like, you're the president of the awkward club. Mainly don't feel that way because I am the president of the awkward club. I invented the awkward club. I'm a founding member of the awkward club. I'm also a vice president of the awkward club. But we do have a lot of positions we need to fill. Namely, we need some sort of wizard. We're going to need someone who's good at cooking that could make some sort of like Cheez-It, ice cream, milkshake, icing situation. Definitely one of those. We're going to need a team cheer, team t-shirts, team buttons, team house elves. We're going to need a team brunch day. So anyways, this week for the Awkwardest Awkwardness vlog part 2, said it on my first try. We're going to be talking about, instead of how cool it is to be awkward, because let's be honest, sometimes it does suck a lot, we're going to talk about how to survive awkward situations, because most of us get into an awkward situation at least 17 times a day. For me, it's anywhere from 17 to around 200,000. Okay, so say you're knee deep in an awkward situation, you've just said something really dumb to your crush, like he asked your name, he said, "Hi, I'm Todd," and you said, "Hi, I'm Todd," because you were so panicked and excited that he was talking to you that you repeated his own name back to him. I've done that. It's really hard to get out of. So you just did that, or something worse, or hopefully better. This is how you're going to survive it. You're going to use this amazingly brilliant acronym that I've come up with, and the acronym is the word barf. It's one of my favorite words. It's one of your favorite words. Definitely one of Chris Hemsworth, my boyfriend's, favorite words. There's not really a better word in the English language to encapsulate everything that is awesome and great and terrible about being awkward. All right, so you've just told your crush Todd that your name is also Todd. Not true, and you've got to get out of it. You're going to be panicking. You're going to be going into panic blackout mode. But before that happens, I want you to do the first step of barf, which is a B, and I want you to breathe. I know from extensive personal experience that remembering to breathe while you're in an awkward situation is actually really, really difficult. You can feel like your body's sort of shutting down organ by organ, and your lungs are just like collapsing in on themselves, and you're like choking on your own spleen, which is why the letter B is so important. Because if you can remember to breathe after you just, stuck your hand out and said, "It's funny that your name's Todd because my name's Todd too, partner." Yeah, I don't know why I said that in a cowboy voice, but if you said it in a cowboy voice too, hey, look at us, soulmates, let's pump the brakes on the cowboy talking, and remember that breathing is the most important thing here, because if you can remember to breathe in the face of all that, you're going to be A-okay. So just take a few deep breaths. You don't have to be super obvious about it. It's more of like a mental calming down. You're going to take a few deep breaths, and then you're going to move on to the letter A. That was an A. Now for A, I actually had a fair amount of trouble coming up with a word that could fit into this acronym. Couldn't find one that really struck my fancy until I thought of the perfect one, which is Accio confidence. For the uninitiated, what Accio means is it's a magic term from the Harry Potter books, and basically it means to make something come to you, or to make something, fly towards you through the air. So you could say like Accio chapstick. I'd say like Accio Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Catch him right here. He's in the kitchen, so he's making pancakes, but it did work on him. Anyways, so the point of Accioing something is to make it come to you. So you've taken a few deep breaths, and now you're staring at Todd in the eyes. You still haven't explained that your name isn't Todd, but you're Accioing your confidence, which means you're going to try to become the most confident version of yourself. Confidence can be tricky to deploy because sometimes you don't really know what it feels like to be confident or how to act confident if you've never really felt confident. That's called logic. But a trick my dad told me my freshman year that I've used a lot ever since is when I'm in a situation where I don't feel calm or cool or collected and instead I feel like panicky and awful, My dad always just said, just fake it. Just fake being confident, which isn't the same as like faking your personality or changing your personality. All it is faking being the bravest version of yourself. And once you've made that conscious decision to be confident, the conversation is going to get a lot easier. I can't explain how. It's sort of like how Dumbledore couldn't tell Harry Potter all that super helpful stuff that could have like saved the Wizarding World 8 books earlier. I cannot tell you how pretending to be confident is going to help, but I promise you that it will, because when you're in a confident state of mind, you can just sort of laugh things off, you can make a joke, you can pretend like it's really not a big deal, because, secret, it's really not a big deal. And that brings us to our next letter in the word barf, which is the letter R. I hope you're enjoying these arm gestures because I practiced them for weeks. So the R in our Genius BARF acronym stands for relax. And relaxing has a lot to do with what we talked about last week. You may feel that you're all alone in your awkwardness, that everyone's staring at you like you're the only kid that's like sweating it out there, in the middle of the cafeteria trying to have a conversation with your crush. But there's 100% probability, math, that the person you're talking to also feels like a really awkward person. They feel like everything they're saying is wrong. They feel like, the way they're standing is weird. The two of you are just creating like a black hole magnetic force of vacuum awkwardness. That was all the science words I know combined into one fantastically inaccurate sentence. So relaxing has to do with taking a step back and saying, okay, this isn't the worst thing that's ever happened to me. I'm just having a conversation. In 38 seconds or in 3 seconds, it's going to be over. So the R is pretty simple. And that brings us to the conclusion of our acronym, which is the letter F. F stands for is future, which seems maybe like it doesn't fit, but allow me to explain. I think so many of us, when we feel like we've done something awkward, we just feel terrible. We feel like we've embarrassed ourselves, we've made a fool of ourselves. We're the only person that's ever done anything so stupid. And what we'll do is we'll force ourselves to relive this awkward moment or awkward conversation over and over. We'll just dwell on it. We'll think of it while we're trying to fall asleep. We'll think of it while we're doing anything, and we'll really beat ourselves up because we think, how could I have done such an awkward thing? I'm going to be awkward forever and ever until I die. What future means is please don't feel that way, because no matter how awful and sad you feel today about the awkward thing that just happened, I promise you with all my sweaty heart, you're not going to feel as bad tomorrow. And the day after that, you're going to feel even less bad. The day after that, you're going to feel even less bad, until eventually you've either completely forgotten about the awkward thing, or the awkward thing has become like some hilarious story you can tell your friends over froyo. And as long as I can keep in mind, F is for future, I'm going to be able to see that the big picture is so much bigger than this one tiny thing I've said or done, and that this awkward moment or awkward conversation is really going to have absolutely no effect on the rest of my life. It's not going to define my life. I'm not going to probably remember it in a month. So that's where barf ends. Barf is over. Just kidding, because barf is never over, especially with me. Barf is always going to be with us. Barf, barf, barf. Barf. If your parents walked in during that part where I was saying barf over and over, I have no idea what you should tell them to make them think that you're not just watching a vlog about barfing. But maybe you can employ the acronym we just learned, and the breathing and the relaxing and the magic spelling and the futuring to help with that. So go for it. It's like lessons in practice. I'm giving you real-time experience. Appreciate it. So we've reached the end of this week's vlog. Once again, I have absolutely no idea what I should talk about next week. So if you've got an idea, please hit the comments, tell me about it. For today's conclusion, we've got a few special guests. You may have seen them in the background. We've got, that is a Molly, that is a Rosie. Let's see if they have anything to say. Ugh. Hi, my name's Rosie, my name's Molly. I don't like the vlog because Chelsea's obnoxious and she talks too much. I don't know, I guess I gotta go eat some stuff now. And I'm very small. Ah!